So, continuing with our, bird's eye glance of all the topics that are there in every chapter, moving on to the next chapter, which is Sale of Goods Act. So, in Unit 1 of Sale of Goods Act, we had first discussed the definition and characteristics of a contract of sale, or the essentials of a valid contract of sale. After this, we had discussed all the different essentials in details, where first we had started with goods, where goods can be classified under three heads: existing, future and contingent. Even existing has three types: specific, assertive and unassertive. Then we had discussed fixing of price under the contract of sale, where we have three methods of fixing the price. Then after this, we had discussed about the performance of each of the parties. Then we had discussed the different types of delivery. Then we had discussed the difference between document of and document showing title. Then we had destruction of subject matter, and finally we had compared Sale of Goods Act with other different types of contracts. For example, sale compared to agreement to sell, sale compared to hire purchase, and sale compared to bailment. Then after this, we had Unit 2, where in Unit 2 we had discussed the meaning of the words conditions and warranties. We had also discussed the difference of both. We had done implied conditions, which were 8 in number. Then we had done implied warranties. Then we had done the rule of caveat emptor and its lochas, right? And we had 8, 9 lochas here in caveat emptor. Basically, all implied conditions were lochas and also trade name. So basically, 9 lochas we had here. Then we had started with Unit 3, where we had basically discussed the stages of transfer of property and when does transfer of property take place. Then we had discussed sale on approval or sale or return basis. Then after this we had discussed the lochas to nemo, dat, quod, non, habet. There were 8 lochas to this rule, and finally the rules of delivery. Moving on to Unit 4. In Unit 4, we had who is an unpaid seller, what are the rights of an unpaid seller. So basically, this unpaid seller had rights both against the goods as well as against the buyer. Then rights of a buyer in case the seller breaches the contract. And finally, the rules relating to auction sale. So this is the whole bird's eye or recap of the topics of the Sale of Goods Act. Now moving on to the next act. Partnership Act. In Unit 1, we had discussed what exactly is the definition of partnership. And what are the essentials of partnership? We have differences, that is partnership compared with HUF, partnership compared with company, partnership compared with club, and partnership compared with co-ownership. Then after this we had discussed the types of partnership, and finally the types of partners. Then moving on to Unit 2. Unit 2 was actually the relation of partners to each other. So quite a lot of things we had covered here. We had done the rights and duties of a partner. Then we had done the property of a partner, of firm, sorry. What do we mean by that? Then we had done personal profits earned by a partner. Then after that, after personal profits earned by a partner, we had done the implied authority of a partner, then acts beyond implied authority of a partner, extension or restriction of implied authority of a partner, notice to a partner, then liability to third parties. We had discussed three heads here, and finally reconstitution or dissolution of partnership, which was 6 ways: admission, retirement, death, insolvency, expulsion, and transfer of shares. And finally, the last topic, revocation of continuing guarantee. Then in Unit 3, we had discussed the registration of partnership firm, consequences of non-registration, then dissolution of firm, and finally the procedure of dissolution. So these were the topics that we had covered under the Partnership Act.